story came about, because we all have kids, or all of us that do have kids, I should say, have had this whole scenario in our heads, like who would take care of the kids and whatnot. So talk a little bit about that. And
well, the idea kind of came about because my daughter's now in 3rd grade, but before she was born, my wife was pregnant, and we were having that conversation that, you know, nervous soon-to-be parents have, like, ooh, when we die, you know, who do we leave the kid to? And she kind of jokingly said, well, you know, we had these 2 single friends, and she's like, well, why don't we just leave you know, the baby to them? And I said,
who knows us better than Mike and Clara?
And I said, that's a great idea for a movie. And she said, I know, I pitched it to you a month ago. And I went, oh, I wasn't really listening. And so, you know, Kristin knew our friends as well, and told you the idea, and we both were like, yes, this is one we have to write. You know, we're always looking for ideas that feel high concept, which to us just means something that is, I think, big comedically. We can do a lot with, we knew we would be able to do a lot comically with the situation that the 2 characters would be in, but for us, more importantly, is it was really grounded in something emotional. That was exciting to us, the idea of, you know, really running with and being honest about the tragic circumstances that is kind of all this comedy is arising out of. And we thought that would be a, you know, kind of hopefully fresh and new, you know.
Are the characters then like your 2 friends, as far as, do they totally not get along as?
Oh, no, I mean, not in that regard. We all love each other. But, you know, I think for Messer, there's definitely some of Mike.
There's a lot of Mike.
Certainly our friend Mike is very excited that Josh Duhamel is, you know, is now connected
essentially
to him.
Playing him.
Yes, is connected to him in any way. That's nothing but a boon for McCusker.
Yes.
So.
And do you listen to your wife's pitches a little more?
Beth has very good ideas for movies.
Yes, yeah. No, well, my wife was in development for a long time, you know, so, you know, she's, you know.
She knows her stuff.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, that's more a comment on me being a schmuck than anything else, quite frankly.
We'll go with the new dad.
It's in no way a comment on Beth that it is on why would she still be with me. You know,
tired.
I was.
When you guys came together to work, I understand you both met during school and whatnot. What is it about your partnership that works so well? Or that you enjoy about it, I guess I should say.
That we get to go home to our own spouses at the end of the night. What do you think it is, Kristin?
Well, you make me laugh, so that helps a lot. He definitely. Ian's the
and
brighter.
You make me laugh.
Well, you know, it's a creative marriage for sure. I mean, I think that we complement, our skill sets complement each other.
I think our sensibilities complement each other too.
And I don't know how to write any other way, because when you write with somebody, you're accountable. You have to show up and get it done, and so we keep each other going.
Yeah, that certainly is definitely that's definitely part of it for me. It's like, I gotta get my scenes done. I'm seeing Kristin in an hour. I gotta get something down. I mean, I think it's just. It's interesting because people make assumptions that it's like, you know.
If it's a dirty joke, they assume that Ian wrote it. Especially, you know, we'll go around town with a pitch, and if it's something that'll just sound better coming from Ian, from a guy, he'll pitch it. They'll assume that it was his idea, but it was actually mine. But and we work it however it's going to sell. So.
And everybody assumes it's like, well, if it's something heartfelt, Kristin must have come up with it. And, you know, I'm a softie.
Yeah. You are actually.
I'm in touch with my feminine side.
And what does that writing process look like? Do you meet up together? Do you do...
Well, we, with any new project, whether it's something we're going to write or pitch, we break the story together, the whole outline. And then we will split up, and the first draft, we'll break down the scenes, and Ian will write some, and I'll write some, just so that we have a rough, we call it like an assembly draft, to rewrite from. And then all the rewriting we do together in the room. And there's a lot of that. I mean, that's really where...
When we first started, we tried to, write everything together, and it, I think, took a year to get a first draft done. It was just ridiculous.
You start arguing about things that are just pointless to be arguing about at that stage.
At that point, yeah.
So we decided divide and conquer, and then regroup and rewrite.
Yeah,
that works best for us. We know we're always fascinated by how other teams work, and we know people do it all different kinds of ways.
Yeah.
But that just works for us.
I just spoke to writers that do it all through email, and like you never even see each other.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
Ian has friends who do that. They just share the file back and forth, and
Yeah, and we, and we try to keep regular hours. I mean, we work every day, and sometimes at night if we're on deadline, we'll Skype. So
after our kids go to bed, we Skype.
so we don't have to be in the same room together that long.
But that works for us, that process.
So you both have kids?
We do.
Yes.
How old are your kids, if I can ask?
Yeah,
I know
my
families-
son is just turned 7.
And I have a 9-year-old girl and a 6-year-old girl.
So they were both. Yours was not even conceived when the script started. Then is that correct?
No.
True. And that's one of the fun things about this project. I think for us is that. I mean, we weren't. It was 8 years ago that we first sold it, and we weren't rewriting that whole time. But we came back on the project, and then had a perspective of actually being parents ourselves, which changes certain things. For sure, there just have babies all around the movie. I mean, Catherine brought her baby home during the filming, and then Barry, who's been the producer on this project forever, had his daughter during production as well.
Yes.
So we'll do crazy things when they're sleep deprived.
So what was, 8 years ago, what was the road in getting it from being purchased? It was purchased by a producer.
Well, we wrote it as a spec script, and it was sold at the end of 2001 with Barry Josephson was the producer. And, I think that the trick for us always with this script was the tone. That was what it was always about being as funny as we can and being as honest emotionally as we can. And I think while that was a great creative challenge for us, and Barry got it, it was always about kind of finding the right home and other people who got that. And I think
there's some initial pushback that we got at the beginning was it's a comedy, it's a drama, can't it just be one or the other? And we felt pretty strongly that life is both, and we wanted it to be both. And so when Barry got it in turnaround, he brought it to Gold Circle, another producer, Paul Brooks. And we did a pass then to make it a little more current. Yeah. And Catherine was the first piece of talent that they took it to. And when she said, I want this to be my next movie and my next space in my availability is October, then it was just go, go, go.
Yeah,
and Warner Brothers was a great home for it. And
so it's been this kind of steady progression of just finding the right group of people who all kind of share the same vision. And frankly, Greg Berlanti, when he came on, saw what we were going for with the script and kind of took it and did what you want any director to do, which is basically just make it his own and honor what we wrote, and I think, made a really special film. So.
Yeah, and I was just going to ask you about Greg. He just seemed like the perfect director for this film. In that, I think about the TV shows he's worked on, Brothers and Sisters, and Everyone's some favorites of mine that I still rewatch. It's got that similar kind of tone of being serious, like you're talking about, with a lot of comedy in it.
Yeah. No, we were thrilled when he came on board, and as Ian said, that the combination of people that make it what it is today wouldn't have existed 8 years ago.
Yeah.
So, to wait was a very good thing. We're thrilled with all of it.
Yeah, Greg really. It was always a very personal film script for us, and I think we just feel lucky that it became a special movie for Greg too, and I think that's what he delivered. So,
any favorite scenes for either of you? What's your favorite scene?
It's interesting,
and maybe it wasn't your favorite in the script, but when you saw it played out in Greg's eyes and his vision.
Well, what was so much fun about seeing the film for the first time is that you can write. The baby looks vulnerable here, or the baby smiles, and it reads a certain way, but then when you see this little girl, and she was played by triplets, so all three of them on the screen, it's powerful in a way that I didn't anticipate it anyway. So
we had the scene late in the script that where she says "Mama" to Katherine Heigl, calls her Mama.
Yeah, that was a scene that Barry really wanted in the script early on, and we wrote it.
And
we're happy with it. Yeah. And then when we saw it
we're like, holy.
In the context of the film, it definitely resonated in a way we weren't prepared for.
Yeah.
So there are moments like that. There are finds that are all Greg, like Josh knocking the baby down so that she can come and see her walk for the first